When you know that you are queer, but your favorite drink is beer, that's gayish. You can bottom without stopping, but you can't stand going shopping, that's gayish. Oh, gayish, you're probably gayish. Well, life's just too short for narrow stereotypes, so it's gayish. We're also gayish. It's Gayish with Mike and Kyle.
Hello, everyone in the podcast universe. This is Gayish,
the saintedest podcast that has saintedly been sainted sainthoodly.
I bless you. I bless me. I bless everything.
We're all blessed. Everyone's so blessed. Hashtag blessed. And, you know, just look into the skies at the light shining down upon us all.
I'm Saint Mike Johnson.
I'm Saint Kyle Getz.
And we're here to bridge the gap between sexuality and actuality. And today, in case you missed it, everybody, we were sainted by the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence on our last episode live in San Francisco.
Yeah, I don't know. The audio was okay. I don't know how well you could tell, but yeah, we were sainted and it's a huge honor and I haven't gotten over it. And I think I might just talk about how I'm a saint for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I think you should.
Okay.
So I think I should too.
Yeah. I mean, how many people we get to be in the company of Margaret Cho and Kathy Griffin? They're like huge. Yeah.
So, you know, when they have those saint get-togethers,
the All Saints meetings.
Oh, goodness. Today we're going to talk about landscaping.
We're going to talk about landscaping.
I've returned to the podium.
Yes, you are the winner of the Patreon vote. And for some reason, y'all wanted us to talk about landscaping. But I think there's some, at first I was like, this is going to be boring. And then I think we have a little bit too much to talk about now that we talked it through, because I think there's a lot that we can talk about.
Yep. But first,
please
come to our show in Dallas. It's just in a couple of days, everybody. And I know it's Easter, but fuck Jesus. Come to our show.
Said the saints. Fuck Jesus. Come to our show. It's going to be more fun. And you're probably going to drink more than if you were celebrating Easter with your family.
And there's way less ham.
Way less ham. I'm not bringing. Are you bringing the ham?
No ham.
Just performance wise.
Well,
we'll be hamming it up on stage.
Yeah. We're both capable of that kind of ham, Kyle.
Yeah. Come to our show.
Or what if we could get John Ham to come, who looks like he has a ham stuffed in his trousers sometimes. The Hamaconda.
Yeah, let's get that beautiful package on an audio show.
Yeah. I've been trying to convince you that we need to do an entire spin-off podcast about penis size. So
yeah.
Okay. That's going to happen. Please come to the show. It's gayishpodcast.com/book. We're going to be at the Rose Room that is upstairs at S4, Station 4. That's Sunday, Easter Sunday, April the 20th, 2025 at 1 p.m. Central Time. You can get tickets at gayishpodcast.com/book and click on the last little entry in our tour section.
Yeah. Get your tickets now.
It's going to be fun. Do it. Okay, now the news.
Shut your mouth hole. It's time for your ear holes. News
the first.
Yeah.
So the dickbag fuckface asshole administration.
Yeah. You're labeling just the entire administration the dickbag fuckface assholes.
Look, they're complicit in everything at this point. Like, there's just no denying they're all in on it together.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, apparently on at least 3 recent occasions, senior press aides have refused to engage with journalists and answer reporters' questions because they have identifying pronouns in their email signatures.
Oh, God.
White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt, who is just, okay, Derek, put her on the list. 2025 dickbag fuckface asshole nominee, Carolyn Leavitt, said, quote, "As a matter of policy, we do not respond to reporters with pronouns in their bios." She also told the New York Times that any journalist who includes pronouns, quote,
oh no,
I can't even say it. It's so fucking evil and stupid and laughable. Quote, clearly does not care about biological reality or truth, and therefore cannot be trusted to write an honest story.
What? Okay, The fucking frustrating thing is everyone has pronouns. You use pronouns for people all the time. And if you think that no people don't have pronouns or whatever, or it's rejecting biology, call a cis person the wrong pronouns and you'll see they know which ones are the right ones and what it feels like to be misgendered.
Yeah. Yes. And have you ever, tell me you've never emailed somebody named Pat or Chris and like not known what their preferred pronouns are because that is a unisex name.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what if I don't want trans people to be the only people that have to put their pronouns after their name because I want to be an ally and normalize the use of pronouns? Just fucking, God, show me on the doll where the pronouns touched you, you fuckers.
They make such a mountain out of a molehill. Like, just if you don't want to put your pronouns in your signature, don't do it and move on. It causes you no distress or personal harm.
Yeah, it's so fucking stupid. It's so fucking stupid. Yeah, the administration has been attacking what it calls gender ideology, which is really just an attack on gender, non-binary, and intersex people. Her claim that it's not about biology, like I am what they would call a biological male, so it's not about biology.
Yeah.
Biological reality, at truth, even by their fucked up standard, is that I am he, him. So,
Yeah.
Okay, I got to move on. They just make me so mad,
sure.
unless they're making me laugh at how dumb they are. News the second.
Sure.
Colorado Democrat Governor Jared Polis has signed a law that repeals the provision in their state constitution that bans marriage between same-sex couples.
Oh, cool. That was it seemed like a couple negatives in there. That's a good thing for us.
It is a good thing for us. So basically the gist is Obergefell v. Hodges, when it passed, made marriage equality the law of the past. When it was decided, it was a Supreme Court decision 10 years ago. Less than 10 years ago, everybody. It hasn't even been 10 years yet. But when Obergefell v. Hodges came down the pike, it made marriage equality the law of the land nationwide, but that didn't automatically repeal all of the laws and constitutional amendments and fucked up horse shit that happened in the late 90s and early 2000s when we started talking about marriage equality in this country. And so they were just unenforceable or are unenforceable under Obergefell v. Hodges. So now the fear is if the Supreme Court overturns Obergefell v. Hodges, it remands the definition of marriage back to the states. And then all of these things that are on the books that were never removed just go directly into force. So places like Colorado, who had in their constitution a definition of marriage that does not include same-sex couples, would just the day the Supreme Court changed their mind, gay people would no longer be married in Colorado. So places that don't suck, like Colorado, have been working towards removing that outdated language that the state no longer believes in, because fear is mounting that the Supreme Court will eventually go for Obergefell v. Hodges, which we've already seen. I've talked about it on the show a whole bunch of times. The state of Idaho has officially requested a review. So it's
not like it's out of the realm of possibility. It's very possible that it could get repealed and go back to the states.
Yep, absolutely. And and I point out Idaho just because it's the closest to us up here. There are 9 states that have asked the court to hear that case again. And
that now you know which places suck.
Yeah, don't go to any of those places. Also, it's like, it just shows you how fast everything has changed, right? Because the change was made to the Colorado Constitution in 2006, an amendment that defined one man and one woman as a valid or recognized marriage in the state of Colorado. Fast forward 19 years, within 19 years, they have a gay governor. So who's married. And it's just so wild how fast this has gone. But also then, like, it sort of drives home how fast it can be undone.
I guess so. Easy come, easy go. all the good news, like this is a good news story. It should be, but it's tinged with the sadness of like the fact that it even has to be done at all.
Yeah.
Is due to like a, realistic fear, but a fear nonetheless that things are going to get worse.
Yep. Yes. Thanks, Colorado. Fuck you, Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Okay. News the last.
Okay.
Yeah. 4th Street Evangelical Church preacher and conspiracy theorist author Andrew Isker used a portion of his right-wing current affairs podcast Contra Mundum to say that he prefers being patted down by airport security agents rather than going through body scanners because he thinks that body scanners turn people gay.
Okay. Instead of being scanned by a machine, I want a dude to touch me.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
I want a dude to touch me, but that's because I am gay.
Right. Yes, Kyle. Yes.
The body scanners didn't make me gay. Chris Hemsworth did.
Imagine if Chris Hemsworth was a TSA agent. How disappointed would you be?
Yeah, you'd leave everything in your pockets. You'd wear your shoes. You'd do everything to get patted down.
I would carry a loaded gun to the airport if it meant. Speaking with co-host CJ Angle, the right-wing pastor said he much prefers being frisked by TSA agents instead of going through what he unironically described as a, quote, gay beam in the scanners.
I wish there was a gay beam. I wish that were true. I want it to be true so bad. Where it just is. I love that you have to put the word unironically in front of it so that you describe like, no. This wasn't a joke. This was a serious discussion that these two humans actually had.
Yep. Oh my God. It's wild. It is wild, Kyle. This guy sucks. It's great.
And he gets like all this publicity and popularity because of why can't anything we do or say get picked up by a news article or journal or whatever? We need to say some outlandish things. Like, I think that what's a conspiracy theory that I can come up with on the spot?
Yeah. Okay. I don't want to change my oil because it turns people straight. No, that doesn't make any sense.
That makes as much sense as the TSA agent thing.
Yeah, I don't ride public transportation, everyone. It makes you gay. No.
This is why newspapers don't pick up any of our shit, because we can't come up with good conspiracy theories.
Don't ride in pickup trucks. They make you straight.
Yes, that's a good one.
Yeah.
We're
boycotting all Dodge Rams and Ford F-Series trucks because they will make you straight.
Yes. Pickup trucks make you straight. Don't ride in them. Don't get in the passenger seat of one. Don't look at one. Right. Otherwise, you might become straight.
That's right. Danger.
Danger.
That's it. That's the news.
Speaking of danger, I want to thank the following new Patreon members who are in for a lot of dangerous new content. Thank you to Happy Jack Roach.
Happy.
We're happy to have you, Happy Jack Roach. If you want ad-free episodes a day early, if you want to support the show, if you want to use Mike's hole,
use my hole.
If you want to come to our quarterly Patreon happy hours and a lot of other bonus stuff, go to patreon.com/Gayish podcast.
Do it.
Do you want to talk about landscaping?
Do I?
I hope you do.
Yeah.
Because you have to.
I put it on the list. Okay, here's the thing. So as I'm sure you all know by now, but you might be new, who knows? We Kyle and I put up 3 topics for a vote every month for our Patreon supporters. And then the winner each month gets to choose one of the topics on next month's poll. And so the loser gets 2 chances to do okay, to redeem themselves.
Yeah.
Which it really just feels like double the work when that happens. Like
It does. It doesn't feel like a extra bonus fun thing. It feels like you have to come up with 2 topics.
Well, we kick us when we're down.
Yeah.
But yeah, so after losing soundly the month before for the March poll, I put in landscaping and Sandra Bernhardt. And I just want to quickly auditorily scold everyone. Audibly scold? How do I scold everyone through the medium of podcasting, Kyle? No love for Sandra. No love for Sandra Bernhardt?
Is it because you're watching Pose right now?
I'm watching Pose right now.
I think that since Pose, she hasn't been doing anything noteworthy, so I don't know that she's like fresh on people's minds right now.
Okay, well, she's a lesbianic icon, and I think that she deserved better, Kyle.
Yeah. I mean, I thought immigration won the tiebreaker vote, so it's going to be our bonus episode for the month.
Yeah.
So look out for that.
If we ever slow down long enough to record another episode.
No, it will be. We will have it this April, coming soon to a Patreon near you.
Great.
But yeah, y'all decided that why did you put up landscaping, Mike?
Okay. So I'm going to talk about this a little bit in a segment, but it is that in my head, the hot pool boy / hot gardener landscaper is like the food for my closeted orgasm dreams. And I just have always, I think that there's a lot of eye candy that gets cast into roles and put in mainstream media that is ultimately this idea. And I wanted to talk about it. Like, I think it's, for me anyway, in my like closeted gay life, it was up there with like the underwear section at Target, you know?
I remember Desperate Housewives. There was Jesse Metcalf was like I don't know if he was a landscaper or what but he was definitely one of the like.
We're going to talk about him too, Kyle.
Oh, we are? Oh, okay. Yep. So I didn't even think about that when I was doing prep for this. So I'm interested to talk more about that.
Great. Excellent. But first,
we're
going to talk about the history of landscaping, Kyle.
Sure.
So I just want to throw this out there that landscaping isn't just gardening. And I think that my brain immediately goes to gardening, and it is that, but it's more.
Right.
So the Wikipedia article says flora or fauna. So that means like the animals that are in your area, in the land that you're doing, is also part of landscaping, which they are wrong. I reject that. Yeah.
Like if you plant a deer or something.
Right. Exactly. They grow out of the ground. They mature. They ripen in October.
Exactly.
You got to make sure not to harvest them too early.
No, you don't want a ripe deer.
Yeah. So living elements. So landscaping refers to any activity that modifies the visible features of an area of land, including living elements like the plant life and animal life, or what is commonly called gardening. The art and craft of growing plants with the goal of creating a beauty within the landscape. Number 2, natural abiotic elements such as landforms, terrain shape and elevation, or bodies of water. So like if you go out and you like dig a pond in your backyard, that's landscaping also, which maybe this is not a revelation to everyone else. I just never thought of landscaping as more than gardening. So and I don't know what I thought those other things were, but like if you put a hot tub in your backyard, that's landscaping, like by this like definition or whatever.
When I picture landscaping, I picture someone trimming bushes. That's what immediately jumps to mind.
Hedge work.
Yeah.
The good bushwork.
Good bushwork.
Yeah. And then number 3, abstract elements such as the weather and lighting conditions.
Which I don't think of lighting as landscaping, like putting out lights for your along your sidewalk to give it better illumination. Like I don't think of that as landscaping, but I guess it is.
I guess it is. Yeah. And I agree with you. I don't think of lighting as being landscaping either, but it is. So all of that, where I'm going with this is that a lot of this stuff has been going on throughout the history of civilization. Like as soon as humans start moving from hunter-gatherer societies to like having cities. We're doing this kind of thing. Like we're taking the land and we're doing agriculture to grow plants so that we can eat them. And then at some point somebody's like, well, what if we grew plants, but we also made them pretty?
Yeah.
And but a lot of people will point to the gardens of Versailles, the Palace of Versailles, and the gardens around it as being like the height of the use of landscaping and landscaping techniques in a modern way that combines all of the elements that I just listed.
Is that one of the modern wonders of the world, or one of the wonders of the world, one of the 8 wonders of the world?
I think it's on one of the lists that's like let me check.
It's okay. We don't have to answer that.
It might be one of the modern wonders of the world, because there's the ancient wonders of the world and there's the natural wonders of the world, but it might be one of the modern wonders of the world. It also could just be French. I don't know. But it contains all of those elements that I mentioned, and they're not the first to do any of these things, but they are sort of considered to be the masters of it. And a lot of the concept of modern landscaping sort of starts in French gardens and mirrors the royal implementation at the Gardens of Versailles. And have you ever been there?
No.
Do you know what it looks like in your head?
No.
It's massive. That palace is massive, and the gardens that are around it are just huge and beautiful, and must just cost so much money to keep beautiful.
It must have so many hot gardeners working on it.
And they're all French, Kyle. So they're lots of foreskin. They're all a little stinky, but hot.
But in a hot way. There's like musty, and you're like, this is kind of gross. And then there's like a little bit odorous, but in a hot way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's true. Here it is. In 1979, they were added to the UNESCO World Heritage List.
Okay.
So that's a thing.
That's something.
But we can't talk about the French, and we can't talk about the Palace of Versailles without talking about the French monarchy. And sweet Jesus, they were gay. I don't know if you've seen any of the like fictional depictions of any of these characters, but Louis XIII, who became King of France just before his 9th birthday.
Little boy king.
Yep. He actually was, I think it's either him or his son. It's like the longest reigning European monarch ever.
Wow.
That might be Louis XIV. Yeah. Louis XIV reigned for 72 years and 110 days. The longest.
Boy, I'm tired when I'm like in charge of one thing. Like I'm in charge of my dog's life, and that's got me exhausted. I can't imagine being in charge of an entire country.
We're like talking about whether we can manage this podcast for 10 years to go on this cruise, Kyle. Like,
yeah.
If we're still podcasting at 72 years in, I will be dead. So good luck.
Your side of the conversation is going to be very quiet.
Very, very quiet. Okay, so Louis XIII is the reason that Versailles is there. And his father was assassinated, and so his mother, Marie de Medici, was like the acting queen until he was old enough to do it. And he is the first of a long line of French monarchs that lived around Versailles and built it up, and also sort of got a little bit of the absolute power corrupts absolutely cray. Now he's not the most egregious example. There's like orgies and bisexual like concubines, all kinds of shit that happened in Versailles under the French monarchs. But Louis XIII founded Versailles, and he actually was known as Louis the Chaste. because there was no evidence that he had any mistresses, which, because we're talking about monarchs, is noteworthy.
But did he have any manstresses?
Several reports suggest that he may have been homosexual.
Interesting.
So one thing that they point to, and I say this on the show all the time. I think I even said it in the last episode. It's always problematic to look back and say, oh, that boy gay, when the word gay didn't even exist. And like nobody would have thought of themselves as having that identity.
But at the same time, it's problematic not to label something as gay because then it sounds like we just sprung out of thin air, which we didn't. People have been doing gay shit for forever.
That's right. And, but then also like historians are painfully straight for the most part. And they're like, not only are they reluctant because they think that that lacks historicity or whatever, but they also don't want it to be there. Like it feels like they get the ick about gay shit. And anyway, so there's a big gap. So the queen it had some heirs for Louis XIII, but there's like a big gap between them. And some people have guessed that that's because he only wanted the vagina when it was time to breed. Like they rarely hooked up, and it was just for baby making.
Yeah.
And it took them 20 years of marriage before Louis XIV was born. He, as a teenager, focused on male courtiers and developed an intense emotional attachment to his favorite, Charles de Bert. Some people say there's no clear evidence of a sexual relationship. Other people are like, that man was fucking that boy. And there are some contemporary folks who wrote and speculated that the king was gay and that there was gay shit happening in his bed. Anyway, I just, an argument could be made that like the pinnacle of landscaping and the beginning of modern landscaping as a thing is all the doing of the French monarchs who Louis XIII made Versailles happen and was probably gay as hell.
So if we're doing the tally, because at the end we like to ask whether a thing is gay or not, this is a tally in the gay column.
A point for the gay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We never keep track of after each segment categorizing what point it gets, but maybe we should.
I don't know, Kyle. Why start now?
Yeah. Okay.
we could hire somebody else to do the counting part.
Okay. Derek, that's your new job. You got to count. You got to count tallies.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That means he'd actually have to pay attention to us while we talk, which I feel like is 50-50.
Yeah, that sounds exhausting. But yeah, that's the interesting thing from history that I wanted to impart. Otherwise, like landscaping is kind of like mask and broy and straight. Like, you know, it's all power tools and like this manly men mowing their lawn and shit like that throughout history, which is a thing that we have seen, right? Like a woman's place is in the home and a man's place is outside, and landscaping is by its very nature outside and is hard labor, so therefore it's masculine.
Yeah, it's just like cooking. If you cook inside, then that's the woman's domain. If you cook something outside on a grill, that's what a dude does. Like, yep. I think you're right that inside versus outside is a good way to think about what's stereotyped as masculine and feminine.
Yep. Absolutely. All right, what do you got, Kyle?
All right, I'm going to tell you some Urban Dictionary definitions involving landscaping.
God bless Urban Dictionary.
God bless Urban Dictionary. It's always a treasure trove of information and insight.
A treasure trail.
A treasure trail, if you will. Their definition of landscaping was trimming or shaving body hair for aesthetic effect, which may involve tanning too.
Oh.
Do you think of landscaping in this kind of clean up your body hair kind of way?
I mean, that's manscaping, right? And Manscaped used to be a sponsor, RIP. But like I more often hear that term than landscaping.
I don't think I hear landscaping used for like the cleaning up of your body hair that much.
Nope.
The sentence that they gave as the example was, Jonathan's so gay he shaves everything below his collar and calls it landscaping. So Urban Dictionary seems to think that this is a gay thing already.
Yeah. In the like, I don't think we talked about it that much on the Bush episode. I was kind of drunk. It does seem like body hair care is a more gay thing. It's a feminine thing and therefore gay.
Yeah, for sure. There's the Denver Landscaping Project, which is the act of taking a buddy to your basement or closet to shave their genitals and plant tulips.
Oh no. Oh no.
I should tell you that sometimes I get, I try to get like popular definitions so that they're all a thing. This time I got some things that had just like 1 upvote or 5 upvotes. So don't take anything that I am about to say as like, here's a well-known thing.
What does that have to do with Denver?
I have no idea. And where do you plant tulips? You're in the closet. What is that a metaphor? Is planting tulips a metaphor for something? I don't get it.
Oh, no, plant 2 lips, Kyle. It's a joke about your lips. 2 lips.
Plant
2 lips?
2 lips? Oh, to kiss?
Yeah.
Oh.
I just don't know what it has to do with Denver.
I don't know what it has to do with Denver. We did talk about Colorado earlier in the news, but I think that's coincidence.
Yeah.
I don't think those things are related. Their definition for landscaper is a very expensive gardener.
Mm-hmm. Yep. A gardener with opinions.
I like that. There is total landscaping, which is the self-induced destruction of credibility based on a layering of ridiculous actions. For example, he is going total landscaping with all those tweets alleging election fraud.
No, never heard that before.
We'll talk about total landscape. Well, Four Seasons total landscaping in a little bit.
Okay.
There's genital landscaping, which is the art of genital body modification or tattoos to decorate the genitalia.
Yeah, I don't like that.
You don't like
I don't want to
piercings?
yuck anybody's yum. I just think like just leave the dick alone. You know?
Have you ever hooked up with anyone with a dick piercing?
Yes.
What was
this is it, Kyle. I've arrived right now in this moment. I am too much of a slut to remember.
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
Okay. How did you feel about it? What'd you do with it?
No, I don't. It's not for me. Again, not trying to yuck anybody's yum. That's just not for me.
Okay.
Not for my own and not with anybody that I'm with.
I think I've seen enough Grey's Anatomy that I'd be worried about getting fucked by someone with a piercing.
Mm-hmm.
Because that would definitely be something that they'd have to bring someone in to like, it got stuck somehow and they have to go to the ER somehow and get it removed. Like, yeah, I don't know that I would get fucked by someone with a piercing.
Yeah. It'd get hooked on your butt uvula and you wouldn't.
Well, I keep all those rings inside my asshole, so it could get caught.
Your Nuva ring.
My Nuva ring. So I don't give birth. So I don't give butt birth. There is urban landscaping, which is a term to describe graffiti or trash on the sides of buildings or in the streets in a metropolitan area.
Okay.
What? You sounded disappointed in that for some reason.
I just thought it was going to be sexy or funny, and instead it was neither.
Sorry, Mike. Not everyone can be a winner. Some of these we have to bring the humor ourselves, which is basically podcasting. There is dirty landscaper. When a woman puts her legs behind her head and a man jumps and tries to land with his penis in the vagina.
Oh my God.
For example, Matt was a good man, but he missed the dirty landscaper.
You would have to have a very specific kind of dick for that to work.
And I think a very wide set vagina, because I think you'd have to have a large target area in order for this to actually work.
Or be wearing a funnel.
Yeah, exactly. A vagina funnel for sure. There is anal landscaper, which is the act of being a complete homo.
Is there more to that sentence?
No,
Oh,
just being a complete homo.
okay. Can you use it in a sentence?
I didn't write down the example sentence for this one,
Oh,
but it's probably
God.
something like that faggot was an anal landscaper.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
I
I'm
don't
an
know.
anal landscaper then, just based on.
I've never heard this in a like string of insults, but if I did, I think I might laugh at it.
Oh yeah.
I think that's a good one.
100%.
And then there's landscape porn, which is the Discovery Channel's Planet Earth TV show.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anything that David Attenborough or Morgan Freeman does the narration for.
Yep, exactly. That's Urban Dictionary.
I had this thought that, like, because it's a revelation to me that landscaping isn't just plants, that maybe there's a landscaping joke to be made about drag queen contouring when they put their makeup on and they're making their face look like it's not their face in a structured way.
Oh yeah. There's some lighting and shading, and it's not just about the bush. It's about more than that.
That's right. Well, okay. We said at the top of the show we were going to talk about it, so let's talk about it. The hot landscaper as a trope.
Yeah.
So it's been around for a while, but arguably it was who, Kyle? Who always gets the credit?
The Victorians?
The Victorians. Yes.
They did this one too?
Well, so as the Industrial Revolution gets going and there is more disposable income and a burgeoning middle class, we then see people start to have yards, which is basically just a big fuck you that, hey, I have enough money that I have enough land that I can waste it on purely ornamental bullshit. And then you start to see helpers, laborers that are working for more people than just the king or whoever they're indentured to, but rather they are for hire and to do these smaller sort of spaces that the family can't or won't take care of. But almost immediately then begin also the rumors that the woman of the house is banging the help.
Yeah.
So that's been a thread ever since then. So as soon as we got like modern houses with modern gardens with people that you would hire to help take care of it, the Victorians, that's when. So, but it does really get into pop culture more than just like rumors and whispers and little anecdotes in the mid 20th century or so, and it's film. So television had a stricter code about these kinds of things, but the film industry, it really started in the 1950s showing working class sex appeal. Big old quotes around that, working class sex appeal. So think like shirtless laborers, sweaty forehead, man with his like leaning against a shovel, mopping sweat from his brow. The phrase effortless masculinity gets thrown around.
Oh.
And this
no
era,
one has ever described me with those words.
Effortlessly masculine.
No.
I mean, yeah, I can be pretty mask, but it takes work.
It's strenuous masculinity for sure. It's an uphill battle.
Sisyphean and masculinity. So we start seeing a bunch of landscapers and gardeners that are in both films and romance novels, slutty romance novels.
Yes.
And the covers of romance novels. But this idea that that someone lower class could be hotter or rugged and mysterious in an erotic or exciting way, and sort of the male gaze being reversed so that it's the female gaze that's involved in all of this, that really takes hold in the 1950s, even though the seeds had been there before. But it really is like it's kind of weird, right? Like usually it's like fat guys used to be hotter because that meant that they had enough money to be fed or whatever. It, it's interesting that this is a whole like sexuality or sexual interest based on lower class folks.
Yeah. There's something hot about the power differential, right? Isn't that the class difference that like, you know, you're lower class than me, but you're the one sweeping me off my feet. And there's like a power difference there. That's like, you know, the CEO being dommed by by some sex worker, like that same idea of like,
yep.
The class difference is part of what makes it hot.
Well, some people have also pointed out that, like, the idea of the sexually aggressive Negro plays into this whole thing, as does the tendency for landscapers and gardeners to be Latino, at least in the United States, and that those ideas get wrapped up into this as well, and that there's an element of danger that gets added to the mix in a like titillating, exciting kind of way that's still racist.
Yeah, I was gonna say if people of color make it feel more dangerous to you, then that's just racism.
Yep. Yeah. So the 1980s and 1990s see a lot of soap operas and cement the idea of the hot gardener as a forbidden fantasy. Antonio Banderas comes to mind from that era. But then it sort of takes a step back until the early 2000s and Desperate Housewives.
Ooh, I called it.
You called it. So Desperate Housewives had Jesse Metcalfe, who played the character of John Rowland, and one of the housewives, Gabrielle Solis, has an affair with her teenage gardener. He was hot. But he was hot.
Yeah.
I jerked off to him. So did you watch Desperate Housewives, Kyle?
I did. I watched a lot of it. I really liked it.
And was it because of him?
He helped, but no, I also loved drama and the like, you know, this is like, why do gays like the Golden Girls? Like, I think gays like Desperate Housewives too.
What I'm trying to get at is I was quote unquote straight then. I was married to a woman when that show was on TV. And we've talked off and on about gay baiting. Did Desperate Housewives stoop to gay baiting in your gay opinion? Because you were out at the time, I think.
I mean, is it gay baiting if I don't remember if there was gay shit on the show? Like, is it gay baiting just to have a hot dude, any hot dude? In which case, like, that's all of TV has hot dudes.
Well, and it's a great question, a great point. Because how do you tell when it's just for straight girls' benefit and when is it that they're trying to reel the gay boys in as well? And overtly being gay or flirting with gay, if you're a hot dude, seems to be part of the line. And I don't remember anything about the show to remember if that was part of it.
Yeah, I don't remember either if there was a gay angles to it.
Well, apparently Jesse Metcalfe did not appear in public with his girlfriend and only spoke of her and gave zero details in lots of interviews that he gave at the time. And there were lots of rumors about his sexuality, which that is a perfect Hollywood triad, right? Like a hot dude that doesn't talk about his personal life equals gay, right?
Yeah, that because we expect celebrities to be open about every single part of their lives and we expect to have full access to them. And so if they leave anything for private, then we assume that they're hiding something.
Yep. And he was also super duper hot in John Tucker Must Die.
Oh, I never saw that.
Oh my God. Just see it for him playing basketball and taking his shirt off. But I was reading this article that is called, it's on nikkiswift.com. Don't know who she is or why I care. But the article is Whatever Happened to Jesse Metcalfe? Whatever happened? What happened to him, Kyle?
Yeah, where is he?
Is this an example of like an aging starlet that can't find roles because now she's in her 40s? But it's the dude version of it?
Maybe.
Well, it turns out that he went through kind of a lot in his personal life. So he, right after John Tucker Must Die, he was in rehab, and then at some point he was in a relationship with Cara Santana, and who I don't recognize her, but that's when he was like, he became straight and quelled all of the gay rumors, and lots of the interviews around that time were like, hey, talk to us about the gay rumors. Did they bother you? And he said that he wasn't bothered to be considered gay, which isn't allyship. And he proposed to her. But in 2020, they ended their relationship after he was apparently photographed with a bunch of women.
Oh.
But he's kind of a player, apparently. But then also simultaneously said on Instagram that he found Jesus, or no, not Jesus, but he said, quote, I really discovered a connection with a higher power and with God as I understand him. And he gave God the credit for him getting sober through the 12-step program, Alcoholics Anonymous.
Ugh.
And then he was on Dancing with the Stars, which is where stardom goes to die.
Is he still hot?
He is a very, very handsome man, but you know me, Kyle, I like him young.
Yeah. It's your one weakness.
Yeah. Well, also I don't like facial hair, and he's like got a beard now. Or did as of 2020, the last couple of pictures that I've seen.
Oh.
But still very, very attractive. Oh, I forgot about this, Kyle.
What?
He got a tattoo. He got a big old tattoo on his left arm, and that made him less desirable for casting. He didn't get drummed out of Hollywood by any means, but it became more difficult to cast him, apparently. And also, there were rumors at the time that was to butch up his image so that he seemed less gay. And
interesting.
I kind of think that like getting a big old tattoo might not be how to convince people you're not gay. Like the gays are into the tats, everybody.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't see tattoos as particularly straight. I don't see tattoos as gay or straight. Have we done an episode on tattoos?
Yeah, we sure did.
We did? Cool.
We're scraping the bottom of the barrel these days, Kyle.
No, we're talking about hard-hitting, important topics, Mike.
Yeah, that's right. I did not see how he did on Dancing with the Stars. I should find out if he won or not. I'll report back.
Okay. Keep us
anyway,
that's
Jesse Metcalf, the hot landscaper on Desperate Housewives, who I'm realizing will forever live in my heart as the pinnacle of the hot shirtless gardener. Please sit on my face.
Yeah, for sure. He clearly is in my mind as that because he was who I came up with before you even brought him up.
Yeah, exactly right. He didn't win, but he did good.
Oh, good for him. Proud of him.
Yeah.
Okay, so something I'm not going to talk about is Four Seasons Total Landscaping. I said I was going to, but that is the where Rudy Giuliani held the press conference.
Oh God. Okay. I forgot about this.
In 2020. And that was like, the speculation was that they thought they meant the Four Seasons, like hotel, and mixed up the place. But what I didn't know, I'll tell you just one interesting tidbit about that is that they started selling merch after
Wait,
that.
Kyle, is this you not talking about it?
This is me not talking about it.
Okay,
I just thought that it was really funny
Go ahead.
they sold merch that said "Make America Rake Again."
Oh, I love that.
And Lawn and Order.
Oh God, I love that.
So that's all you needed to know. They ended up making $1.3 million in merch sales between things like t-shirts, sweaters, face masks, other things.
Oh my God, everybody. Gayishpodcast.com/merch.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to talk about an article I read called Queering Urban Landscapes, Exploring LGBTQ plus Inclusive Architecture.
Okay.
And this is an article on...
Architecture.
Yeah.
Huh,
Yeah.
okay.
Which this is a broad definition of landscaping. This is an article on re-thinkingthefuture.com.
Okay.
And they talked about redefining public space for everyone, which includes architectural components, public artistic expression, and shared areas to mirror the lived experience of the LGBTQ plus community. They talked about characteristics of LGBTQ plus inclusive architecture and some tangible examples. They were light on tangible examples of how to queer urban landscaping, but some of the things that they did mention were making multi-stall restrooms into all gender accessible restrooms.
Sure.
And including gender neutral symbols and signage to cultivate a sense of belonging. Every time I'm in a bathroom that's like that, I notice it, and then I'm like, "This is cool," and then I piss.
Yeah, like, but there's a lot of them in Seattle because Seattle is the way that it is. But everybody who's all up in arms about bathrooms and gendered bathrooms or whatever, like, you've used the bathroom on a plane before. Why are you so freaked out? And like, gender neutral bathrooms are fine and they're perfectly safe and they're comfortable for everyone. Just don't have giant gaps between stalls and everything's fine.
Yeah. Oh, that's a problem in the United States, is the big gaps that we leave in public restrooms. Yeah. But everyone is just there to fucking pee. That's all we all want. No one's in there
not fuck and pee, fucking pee.
Fucking. It depends on if it's a Sniffy's cruising spot.
Right.
But another thing it said is that it talked about lighting as part of LGBTQ inclusive architecture because it provides safety, and illuminating areas helps contribute to the safety of LGBT people. I don't know. Maybe it's like gay people are more likely to get like hate crimed. Maybe that's why lighting helps reduce that.
And I've been told that being lit from below is a hate crime.
Yes. Different kind of lighting challenges, I think, that we're talking about. But yeah, we do podcasting, so we don't know how to light a set.
Oh my God, it's so bad.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to fix that though.
Yeah. It's important to preserve queer memories when you update or refine the architecture or the urban landscaping to safeguard recollections of LGBTQ history. You may need to do other things like establish historical indicators, memorials, or even create museums to make sure history isn't forgotten when updating the landscaping. And this article talked about moving beyond gayborhoods. They said gayborhoods have historically provided safe havens and fostered cohesion between the community. But here's what they said as like moving past that. Quote, urban environments should not partition LGBTQ plus identities into distinct districts. Instead, they should infuse architectural concepts that embrace diversity throughout the cityscape. This transformation fosters an atmosphere of tolerance and comprehension among all residents, eroding the perception that queerness is limited to specific corners of the urban tapestry.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
Well, on the one hand, I know that visibility moves the needle in acceptance, and that if we're all huddled together in our little bubble in the neighborhood somewhere, that's less likely to happen.
Yeah.
And straight people these days are awful, and we need to help.
Yeah.
And our little bubble is safe. We have each other's back. Like, it is a place that we can be ourselves and not afraid of being hate crimed or whatever. And they're necessary. Like, I think it's a very idealistic thought that we should like bust out of the gayborhood. Like, maybe we'll be ready for that someday, but that day is not today.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. I thought this was, I was like not on board, and I think maybe premature is how I might describe it now. Like it's not a ridiculous idea, but maybe you're right that we're not there yet. I know, just like, it's really funny because whenever we travel to a different city, usually we can tell when we get to the gay neighborhood because, you know, either our show's there or we're staying there, and we turn onto the street and we see rainbows, and it's just makes you feel safe and like you're home. It's a nice feeling when you turn into the street that starts the gay neighborhood.
Yep, absolutely. Totally agree.
Yeah, I think we still need them. Let's see. There other things they suggested, other tangible examples they gave were seating that fosters conversation and communication. I don't know that that's so. A lot of these things I didn't think were like lighting. I think that's helpful for everyone who is at risk of, you know, having something happen to them, or, you know, or provide safety for everyone. I think if you're focused on stimulating interaction through, you know, designing a space that helps everyone, not just queer people. So I don't know. I wasn't fully bought in on this article on why this had to be like LGBTQ specific and why this wasn't just like ideas for generalized urban landscaping.
So does this, I didn't see this point coming, Kyle, but maybe that's a point for landscaping is neither. That like it's neither straight nor gay, because they're trying real hard to make it like the gay version of landscaping, and they can't do it, or they can't do it to your satisfaction.
Yes, they couldn't do it. The best tangible example they gave was the restrooms, and that was like such a real specific thing, and not, I didn't think, you know, as applicable to like urban landscaping as much. So yeah, I think it was a bit of a stretch, and agree that maybe I think if it's neither, does that point go to the straights?
No, they are not the default, Kyle. Fuck them.
Okay. Fair enough. So 1 point for neither.
1 point for neither. Oh, goodness. Well, let's see. I'm going to do the super fast version of this, Kyle.
Okay.
So it like in terms of like landscaping is gardening. There's I found like my favorite new thing to know, which is, have you ever heard of the corpse flower? The corpse plant? These things are super rare, and like plant people freak the fuck out about them because they bloom like once every 2 years or some shit, and they're massive. Like a leaf can be 15 feet tall.
Damn.
And, they're like their bulb, their tuber can weigh like 200 pounds. And they bloom very infrequently, but they have this like thing that grows and then it splits open and it smells like meat, so that it can attract flies. But the flower goes away after only like 2 or 3 days or something. But the scientific name of this giant ass stinky flower is Amorphophallus titanum, which is Greek for giant misshapen penis.
Does it look at all like a giant penis?
It does now.
Oh yeah, once you see it,
that big thing that comes up through the middle of it definitely looks like a dick. And I don't know who named it. But it's absolutely hilarious. It was first scientifically described in 1878 by the Italian botanist Odoardo Beccari, and but he said that that's just the Greek translation of what the Sumatran people called it. So they called it giant misshapen penis. I just think it's like, it's a giant dick plant, Kyle. I need one now.
Yeah, I've hooked up with some giant misshapen penises. I get it. That smelled like meat.
Yeah. And then in the Patreon segment, I am going to talk to you about the manscapers.
Okay. Should you give a clue about what that is, or are you going to keep us in suspense?
I'm going to keep you in suspense, because what I don't want people to do is go to the Instagram that I'm going to talk about and stop listening.
Oh, okay.
They're going to be very distracted.
Oh, gotcha. Pay attention to us. Focus up.
Focus.
They're doing their chores right now. They're half focusing on us anyway.
Right. That's true.
Okay. Should I tell you about this Ask Reddit that I looked up?
Yeah, let's do it.
This is a post to Fuck, I didn't write it down. Why did I not do that? It was
Reddit. It was Reddit.
It was a post to Reddit. Oh, thank you, Mike. I think it was a post to like landscape architecture, something like that. Someone said LGBTQ plus experiences and advice in relation to landscape architecture. And basically, this person, Mate, they, she pronouns, is a 24-year-old non-white Latinx trans femme person who is was recently accepted into the Texas A&M's BLA program, which I looked up, and it is Bachelor of Landscaping Arts program.
Okay.
And they were asking about people's experience in the industry and in the field in landscaping architecture to see what their advice was or what their experience was. So I thought this was interesting because I think like you already said, I view the industry as being pretty straight because it's outside, it's a dude's domain, it's hard work, and we associate all those things with straight dudes.
Yep.
And so I wanted the insider opinions about this. So one person said, landscape architecture, in my experience, has been open and kind to the LGBTQ plus community. So easy enough. That's we have to keep track of sub votes within here because there's lots of different opinions.
Yeah.
One person said, honestly, I believe you are worried about the wrong thing. Your sex, gender contributes zero to landscape architecture. It doesn't matter at all for anything. You should be asking about your university specifically or a firm that you will be working with later on. That would make more sense. And they went on to talk about, you don't have to don't put, make yourself a billboard for the queer community and don't make queer being all that you are and that kind of stuff. And I hated that answer. I was so annoyed by that answer that someone else commented on that post, on that comment, and said, this is what privilege sounds like, in case anyone was wondering, which I agree. That sounds like someone who is not part of the community and doesn't understand why you would ask, is it safe for me to be queer in this industry? Is this going to be an okay thing? What's your experience like?
Or something a log cabin Republican would say. That they are gay, but they are bad at it.
Yeah. If I want to make being queer my entire identity, fuck you, I get to do that.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, someone said, I'm a trans woman and working in a small office. I've never had any negative experiences in school. Work has also been very positive for the most part, and I feel judged more on my abilities, not who I am. I don't work with clients much yet, but haven't had any negative experiences there either. The worst I've come across, which has been very rare, is that the general culture in construction tends to be a man's world, and people are used to making jokes, some of which are sexual in nature or a bit racist or sexist. None of these have ever been pointed at me directly, but the people saying them didn't think about who was in the room. I don't mind jokes as long as they are funny, not at anyone's expense, and I tend to have thick skin, and it takes a lot to upset me, so your mileage may vary. So it's interesting that they related this industry to the construction industry, because that I definitely think of as being straight and toxically masculine.
Totally, yeah.
Someone else said, I'm queer and NB, and I definitely agree that your skills are what matter the most, but your experience in school and work will be shaped by your surroundings. It has been a struggle to find my place in the field and life in general, but it is possible. If when you do find yourself in a toxic environment, try to get out of there as fast as you can. Better opportunities will come along. Just be ready to take them when they come. Although we're in dark times, I am hopeful things will get better, and it's people like you and others coming up now that will be the catalyst, which I think it's one of those hopeful, frustrating things to say, you can be the change in the industry, but then that's asking a lot of someone to have to come along and be the catalyst for change in an industry. Sometimes you don't want to be the catalyst for change. Sometimes you just want to be able to go to work and be queer and be who you are and it be okay and not have to lead the pack or make the change or do the work.
Well, and Maslow's hierarchy, if what you're worried about is keeping a roof over your head and food in your mouth, then don't worry about being a catalyst for change. Focus on having a place to live and food to eat, right? And it's a position of privilege to suggest that you can or should be what we're hinging our hopes and dreams on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then lastly, someone said, I'm going to be real with you. This industry is toxic as fuck for any sort of marginalized person. Make sure you have a strong support system outside of school. As a queer, racialized, cis woman, I've dealt with so much toxic crap. I only stay in this industry so I can live in NYC, a place I've come to really love and find community in. So there's some people, all in all, there's a mixture of experiences. The first person said they were open to the LGBTQ plus community. The last person said it was toxic. So it seems like there's a range of experiences out there and a range of possibilities when you're queer. So the industry seems like it can have just a plethora of different experiences depending on probably where you live, who you are, what company you work for, all that kind of stuff.
Yep, absolutely. And where you live, it's wild how much that matters.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Speaking of gay ghettos, right?
Yeah.
Do you want me to do the serial killer? That's the last thing I have.
Yeah, do it.
Okay. Oh, goodness, Kyle.
How did you connect landscaping to serial killers?
So Bruce MacArthur was, by all appearances, a pretty regular guy in Toronto, Canada. He's 5'10", 220 pounds, 67 years old, and had a wife and kids. And on his Facebook page had pictures of his cats and kids and grandkids. He also dressed up as Santa Claus.
Oh.
And it turns out, however, that he was also a serial killer. And I don't know. I should listen to My Favorite Murder, Kyle. I don't know how to do this. I just know all the facts.
That's literally the opposite of what they do, because they never know all the facts. So.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm sorry I'm fucking it up. Georgia.
Wow. You know one of their names.
And Karen?
Karen, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. It's like your best friends. Shout out to My Favorite Murder. They still exist.
We're best friends. We are best friends.
Yeah.
So he was semi-retired, and he retired as a freelance landscaper and was doing a bunch of odd jobs around town. And so he was, this part doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but apparently there was a house in a rich neighborhood of Toronto where he was allowed, in exchange for doing the landscaping there, he was allowed to store things there.
Okay.
And so they found that he basically, Toronto Police Department raided this storage space at this place and found big terracotta planters, in the bottom of which were the remains of 5 men, all dead. And shortly afterwards, he was charged with the murders of 3 more men, because they went and they found more than a dozen planters that the city owned, like public landscaping displays, like big planters that had human body parts in the bottom of them.
Oh my God.
It turns out that this guy he was a serial killer and killed people, chopped them up, and put their body parts in the bottom of plants that he was using in landscaping installations, both privately and publicly, as a freelance landscaper in and around Toronto.
Wow.
All of his victims were people who responded to him on social media using the name Silver Daddies and Bear 411, especially on Scruff and Grindr.
No.
So he drove around the city in the van that he used for work and in the neighborhood, and picked up dudes who looked like they were gay, but also reeled them in on Scruff and Grindr. And he said in his profile that he was, quote, mostly interested in younger men, He said in a text exchange that they found, "I can be a bit shy until I get to know you, but am a romantic at heart." And so there's hundreds of missing person cases in Toronto that they are now reevaluating to determine if they were potential victims of MacArthur based on his MO, which is young gay dudes. And but he pleaded guilty. And this was all back in 2018, and I don't know where that all ended. But here's what I wanted to talk about, Kyle. So he's a landscaper, and he chopped up gay dudes he met on Grindr. Fucking terrifying.
Yeah, I think about the dangerous situations I put myself in. I just go to random dudes' houses. I get in random cars. Like, I do all the things that you shouldn't.
Yes. Same. And then I think, was this dude gay or just a serial killer? I mean,
it's really interesting.
He was for sure a serial killer. Was he also gay?
It'd be interesting to be a serial killer and not gay and decide that unless he had some kind of vendetta against gay people for some reason.
A vendetta against gay people, or maybe just like loved the killing so much and he knew that gay dudes are easy and wanted the daddy dick. So like that was his plan, just for getting bodies. Maybe he had some sort of weird, like, wanted to reclaim his youth by murdering other dudes that had it. Although most of his victims were like my age ish, like 40 something. Or if he's married, has kids, grandkids, and is the Santa Claus at the local Christmas mall thing, maybe he's just gay, hooked up with these dudes, and then is like, holy shit. Like, what's that post nut clarity? And he's like, oh fuck, now this person knows this thing about me that could totally destroy my life, so he kills him. Like, maybe he's a reluctant serial killer. He just got used to using that as the way that he would clean up after himself, because he was not prepared to face his sexuality or have his family find out about his sexuality.
Yeah, maybe he was just repressed and he dealt with it by serial killing.
Yeah.
This is scary. I need to pay more attention and be better at hooking up. Also, if someone told me that they were shy at first but a romantic at heart, that would be immediate boner killer for me. I'd be like, oh, okay, never mind. That's not what I'm looking for.
Well, I will. So we used to send each other the slut message, right? Like I would send you just the word slut and an address and a time, and that was like, this is where to go to get the body if I don't react, or if I don't let you know that I'm okay by whatever time it was.
Yeah. We need to include a screenshot of the person's face. Like, here's what the dude's face looks like, so that we know so you can show to the police who we were going to meet up with.
Yeah. Oh my God, Kyle.
What?
I found more information. I should have gone to this site. The Canadian Encyclopedia has a whole thing about this dude. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Bruce MacArthur. He pleaded guilty to 8 counts of first-degree murder and was sentenced to life in prison with no eligibility for parole for 25 years. But also, according to this write-up, sometime in the early 1990s, he told his wife that he was gay and had been sexually involved with men. They continued to live together, but experienced financial difficulties due to his loss of employment. And they separated in 1997. He declared bankruptcy in 1999. And that's when he moved into an apartment in Toronto, started working as a landscaper, and went to the bars in Toronto's gay village.
Wow. This is just a really bad case of repression.
Yeah. He had already assaulted and injured a male sex worker in 2001 before, like, that was his first violent episode that escalated to murder. Wow. I wish I would have read this before I said all that stuff to you, but here we are. Yeah. Scary. It's really, really scary. Please be safe, Kyle. Please be careful. Like, I don't know, if it seems like maybe Sniffies wouldn't help me if you disappeared.
I don't know. I wonder if Sniffies would cooperate with the police if I disappeared. And like, I need to like give you my password and login, just like for a worst case scenario, so that you could like log in and show to the police if needed.
I don't want that responsibility, but
I also don't want to get murdered. So I don't know.
I would do that. Like I'm happy to be your safety net, like in whatever way makes the most sense. And I know that you would do the same for me. So
yeah, it's just like at this point, I've been so slutty recently that I don't want to send you all the texts every time I hook up with a dude.
Yeah, I get that.
It'd be like
or
slut text messages in a night.
I recently upgraded to the new Android messages app so that I don't have to just do regular SMS and nothing else. And boyfriend is excited about that because it means that he can see when I've read messages and can see when I'm typing.
Oh yeah, I disable that shit. I don't want you to know when I've read your message.
But I've seen now that there's a way to schedule a text. So maybe I'll schedule a text that says, "Hello, Kyle. I have been murdered."
If you're receiving this text message, I have been murdered.
Please come to this address. Here's the dude's face or Grindr profile picture or. I'll do that. And then my phone will die and I'll accidentally send you a murder text message.
So you're talking about like schedule it in advance so that presumably if everything goes well, you can come back home,
unschedule it,
and then delete it. Yeah.
We have the technology, Kyle.
Okay. We got to figure out we got to be more safe when we hook up.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my little story about gay landscaping murderers.
That's one in the gay column because he was a gay landscaper.
Absolutely. Yep.
So is landscaping gay?
Gayer than I thought.
Gayer than I thought for sure. I agree with you. I think it's straight, but has more gay aspects to it than I initially. I just thought it was all straight stuff.
Yeah, I think behind that thin butch veneer of like, oh, it's outdoors, so it's straight, it's masked and therefore straight. It's also about making things pretty, and it is like weirdly sexy. So it's gay.
Yeah, agreed.
Great, awesome. We got to the bottom of the mystery.
We got to the bottom of it
and the top of it
and the top.
Did we do it?
We covered more about landscaping than I thought we would. I thought this episode was going to be a quick one. I thought it was going to be 45 minutes in and out, like my last hookup. But,
right.
but no, we had more to say about it than I expected. So yeah, I think we did it.
Excellent. I love it. So should we take a break?
Yeah, let's take a break.
Let's take a break.
Break.
Give me that shovel.
This is the part where Mike and Kyle take a break.
So are we back?
We're back.
We're back.
We're going to do our gayest and straightest.
I have a whole bunch of flowers now.
What?
And a water feature.
You did all the landscaping during the break?
Yep.
Good for you. So proud.
Hold on. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. We're back. We're going to do our gayest and straightest. But first, our website is gayishpodcast.com. We
are on social media. You can find more about us at Gayish Podcast or go to gayishpodcast.com/contact to see the link to our Discord and our Facebook group.
Our hotline, you can send us text messages or leave us voicemails, is 5855-GAYISH. That's 585-542-9474. Standard rates apply. Our email is gayishpodcast@gmail.com. And our physical mailing address is Post Office Box 19882, Seattle, Washington, 98109. Hey, everybody, two things real quick. We are going to be in Dallas, Texas in just 2 days from when this posts. Did I lie? Nope, 3 days.
3 days.
It's Easter Sunday. Come see us. Gayishpodcast.com/book is where you can get tickets. We'll be at the Rose Room at 1 p.m. And the other thing is the cruise. People are signing up for the cruise. It's very, very helpful for us to know, to plan ahead, to know, and to make sure that everybody that wants to come is able to get people signed up. So if you're thinking about it, it's a $250 deposit. It's February 7th through 14th in 2027. So you've got almost 2 years to pay it off. Go to gayishpodcast.com/tour for all of the details. Fill out the form.
Gayishpodcast.com/cruise.
Gayishpodcast.com/cruise. Fill out the form. Be sure to put gayish as your reason so that we get credit for it. Do it, please.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
And it sounds like Mom is going to come.
Wow. Ma Johnson up close and personal.
We're going to have to do like a hug booth or something.
Oh, that'd be so cute.
Yeah. Okay, is it time for Gayest Straightest?
Yeah, let's do our Gayest and Straightest.
I will go first. So the straightest thing about me this week during the D&D retreat, one of the people that came drove a Rivian SUV, and the conversation that I had with him about his vehicle, sweet Jesus, just like it's an electric vehicle, and we talked about battery powers and the range and how often to charge and like all of the options that are available for it, and like lease versus buy, like it just so much straight car talk. It was wild. And then the gayest thing about me this week is as we talked briefly about on the Patreon segment, I've been doing a bunch of gardening and landscaping work on the new house with help from friends. And but the gayest thing about me this week is picking out which lavender is my favorite. There was like 4 different kinds of lavender with different colors, and like which one do you want to see in your yard? It just felt very gay. Yeah,
landscaping is kind of gay too.
Yep, exactly right. Yeah. Again, because it's about making things pretty.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
How about you, Kyle?
How about me? My gayest is when we were in San Francisco. I had a dude come up to me and tell me that he was talking to me and Derek, and he said that he has a big dick and he thought I was cute, and then he got kicked out for being too drunk.
Oh. Wait, where were we?
At Moby Dick.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I remember that guy.
Yeah. He was a little bit all over the place.
He was definitely all over the place.
The straightest is I went on a beer crawl during the D&D retreat. We went to several beer stops, and even one of them we walked in and the person working there was like, I sense beer crawl. And she was right. I, of course, got my wine and cider. I got a sour at one of the places, so I fit in at one of the beer crawl locations.
You hate beer less than being sober.
Exactly. If in a choice between the two, in a pinch, I will drink beer if needed.
Awesome. Well, we have a listener's Gayest and Straightest this week. I need to find it so I can hear it, so I can react with genuineness in my voice.
Okay, here it is.
Hi, Mike and Kyle. Long time listener, big fan. Falcon from Western New York, and I have a Gayest and Straightest, which is my straightest of this week was last weekend. I met up with some friends to go exercise in the park despite the rain. So as much as it sounds like a workout in the rain with a bunch of other guys, sounds quite gay, it was super straight and broy. And then my gayest is that I realized I got my dates wrong on my calendar, and that I in fact have a goth night and a bear night on the same Saturday this month, and then I scrambled to find an outfit that works for both. All right, love the show. Bye.
I love bro time in the rain.
I want to know what a goth bear looks like.
Golf. Isn't it a golf event?
No, I think it said goth.
Oh, I thought it was a golf night.
Which is harder, golf or goth?
Oh, God. Thank you for leaving your Gayest and Straightest. We appreciate you.
We do. Please send us your Gayest and Straightest. We're always looking for those. We love hearing them. It's 5855 Gayish.
Yeah. I think that's it.
I think that's it too. This feels very abrupt, Kyle. Should we chat more?
Yeah, let's chat. How have you been doing today?
I'm great. I'm great.
Okay.
I feel like we're edging the end of the show though. Thank you to all the shirtless landscapers everywhere.
If you are a male landscaper, you owe it to us to be shirtless. That is your duty. That is your responsibility.
Yes.
Yeah. And I want to thank our super gap bridgers. Thank you to Locomotive, Simon Strachey, Kaylee Adams, Kit Oliver, Kobe Gordon, Squoggle, Pip, Andrew Bugby, William Bryant, John Cawley, Yost Osel, Jonathan Montanius, Forrest Nail, Steve Douglas, Explosive Azania, Michael Covington, Thomas B, Dusty Sands, A. Coleman, Chris Cacciatorians, Jerome York, and Cian and Javi. Welcome back, Cian and Javi.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Thank you for your money.
Oh, thank you for your support. Shit.
Thanks for your money.
Yeah.
All right, this has been Gayish from the Chris Cacciatore Studios. I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz. Until next week, be butch, be fabulous, be you.
See you next week. Live
Bye.
in Dallas.
Live
you
in
assholes.
Dallas. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, go.
The go is to you. You got to go.
Oh. I forgot.
How many times have we done
I was
this?
seriously I was sitting here staring at you, waiting for you to... I don't know what I thought you were...
Mike, this is episode 4032.
I forgot, without Derek here, without Derek's fingers, I need Derek fingering me. To remember to go.
Oh, no.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.